Hello, here's my next book that I finished recently. From those books I started over a year ago. Um, so yeah, second of three. I actually had about five or six to finish. I thought I might get at least four, but it takes so much out of me to make these. Um, which is not me complaining, it's just I always underestimate how much effort it takes to fully realize one of these journals. Anyway, let's just walk you through this one. This one has a tie closure, and this tie closure is made of sari silk braided with some, um, crochet chains. Chains aren't necessarily crochet, it's a crochet stitch. I don't know. It's all like handmade, and some muslin, some brown muslin. So those are the components of the tie closure, and that's not connected to the book in any way. The cover of the book is a journey. Here we've got a stick. This is actually from my plum tree. And here's a dangly thing, which I will show you more of in just a minute. We've got crocheted elements throughout this book. This is like a, what do you call it? Linen kind of fabric here. And that's layered with, this is cork bark, like thinly sliced cork bark. I don't know if you can see it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's really, really soft. And it's like backed onto fabric to make it into like a usable, almost a textile, for crafting. So I really like working with that, and it goes so well in my nature themed journals as well. And we have some stitching, and this is a fern sticker. Originally, I had actually a real pressed oak leaf here, but the way that it was, the way I'd preserved it and put it onto the cover, it just wasn't durable. It fell apart too quickly, and I know these journals can be intimidating for people to use, but they are made to be used. So I went for something that was a bit more sturdy. Now I'll take you round to this little thing, which is actually connected in the middle of the book, but it dangles to the front, for it to be all tied together. I made a tiny little toggle button by drilling out another little piece of my plum tree, which was pretty cool, and obviously it's crocheted all by hand. And it's just a little pouch, and what's inside the pouch is a worry stone. I love incorporating quartz worry stones. I think this is probably just going to be in all of my books going forward if I can fit it in, because it's a significant little part, both because of the stone, and it's just a little nod to mental health and anxiety struggles, which is a big part of me. So, what we also have in here are these tiny little scrolls. It's just little wrapped up brown paper with a tiny little, jump ring holding it together. I bought them off of, AliExpress, I think, and they're just brilliant. I just think that they have so much potential, and I just love to include them because someone can make them into their own thing. So yes, it's a little pouch with some little scrolls and a little worry stone, and it's just, on card, and there's linen in the background. It's a very tactile, very textile-y thing. Right, so the theme of this book, is kind of a green witch theme, I think. That's the way it's come together, and I know I do a lot of books, like my color palette is usually, very brown and green and black, maybe. So we're going back to my roots while still making this a unique, one-of-a-kind experience, that holds potential for someone to make it their own. I decorate it as little as possible while still making it very inviting for someone to be, to make it their own and to be inspired by the elements that I have included. So yes, we open up this book and we have this as a very tactile, bumpy, lumpy experience with the ferns. I've got this cool little tool that I found. I don't even know what it's called. It's tweezers and a magnifying glass, and I thought that was really interesting for looking at tiny things, particularly significant since my eyesight has gone off a damn cliff since I turned 40. But yes, I thought that was like very it ties into the nature theme in my mind anyway. But of course, if whoever buys this book or is gifted this book by someone else doesn't connect with the tools that I've included, I mean, they're just held in with very sturdy stitched in elastic, and those elements can be replaced with whatever suits the individual. So here we have 4 glass vials with cork stoppers, and these can contain any number of treasures. It can be soil, botanical samples, whatever, herbs, seeds. So there's 4 of those in here, and here we have a bit of divination. And this coin is held in, this is a metal plate here that with a very strong magnet in the back, and this just kind of magnetizes in. So we've got a yes no coin that sticks in there and is held, and that's another thing where you can anything that is metal will stick to this pretty well. So that's our front cover tour, and we flip it over. There's some more of that lovely soft, bizarre, wonderful cork fabric, and this is kind of just a little tuck space. There's a couple bits of ephemera. Again, I didn't decorate and fill this very much because I wanted it to hold as much space for potential for whoever buys it. There is a little card in here too, I think. Yeah, just a little. So just a few bits to mostly illustrate the pockety places. So there we go, little tuck space there. Now I'll take you on the page tour. Now, pages in my books are torn edges, inked edges, all different textures. This is like a tissue paper that is translucent. It creates a lovely effect with that. You can see the page behind it. And just the pages are all very different. Some are lined, some are not. All different shades of brown, all different paper thicknesses, and that's the whole thing. So now we come to this. This is kind of a card, almost separator type thing. Anyway, there's just a little clip here, and this is what this clip here is what this is attached to in the middle of the book that swings around to the front. And there's a tiny little notebook I made to just pin in there. And this is just a tiny little book. Tiny little handmade book with some tiny little stickers, just nature oriented, insects, arachnids, mushrooms, and this is actually a real fern that's on this book that did translate pretty well to this very small item. So we do have a little bit of real botanicals in here too. And on the back of that we have as I said, there's some crocheted elements throughout the book. This is one of them, and this is a crocheted pocket, and this is just a little pinecone thing illustrating that this is indeed a pocket. A couple bits of ephemera. This one I really like. It's got some of that lovely cork fabric on the back. It's got some lined, but it also folds out to reveal writing paper. And on this bit it has some edging with the cork fabric as well. So that's just a nice little bit of ephemera. This is just kind of a taggy bit of ephemera that just tie in various elements of the book. And we have more pages, and this is the center of the book here. And now the pages will just repeat. I haven't decorated them. They are just potential, full of potential. So here we have a clip-in pen holder which I have put, this one is actually plastic, this tube. It's a bit bigger than the glass ones, but it does also have a cork stopper, and it's just full of some of those little scrolls. I thought that was quite cool. So whoever ends up owning this book can do with that what they will, or they can actually put a pen in the pen holder, and it just clips in wherever you like. And we go back through here, and we have another pocket. This is another crocheted element, which is not a pocket itself. It is sewn onto the pocket. So this is the pocket, but unlike the other one where I left the top open, this one is sewn all the way around. Just because with this particular design, it needed to be stretched out properly. Or it wasn't a very good pocket with all those holes, I guess, either. But yeah, that was the design choice I made. And here you can see it's very lumpy and bumpy, very undergrowth themed with all the leaves. And we have more pages. There's so many pages, many pages. And here we are at the back cover, just about. And I've got some seed packets. I buy these and use them myself because I really like collecting wildflower seeds. But also, I think they just go really well with this particular book, and with several of my books actually. They just suit because they are, very green oriented, woodsy type books. And of course, seeds can mean literal seeds. Seeds can mean the beginnings of ideas. So seeds have a lot of meaning for me, and I think that they are an appropriate addition to this book. So seed packets. This is just a little note I made to whoever ends up with this book to let them know that this pocket here with a big fern sticker. I love ferns, you may have noticed. Ferns, this book features ferns heavily. This pocket is actually a secret writing space that's held together with magnets. So you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to tell unless you were told that this reveals. I suppose it could technically also be used as like a little tuck space because boop. And then boop. Anyway, there's just a bit of ephemera here illustrating this pocket as well. This is a weird thing I made. I put metal corners on it. It flips out. A little acorn there. It's just for writing space. It's, again, just potential. What is it? I don't know. It's going to look really great when someone makes it their own, though. You could put photos on there. You could put poetry, whatever suits your fancy. It will be beautiful in the end. And here we are at the back cover, where we have more of that lumpy bumpy fern paper as a pocket. And in this pocket we have, first of all, we have some stickers. Life is more than just getting through the day. Absolutely is. Pile of fern stickers, because ferns. This is a real leaf skeleton that I've Mod Podged onto card. So that has potential writing space, but look at all the beautiful detail of the veins of the leaf. It's all lumpy bumpy texture. Lovely. And here we have just a nice little paper clip, and this is a sketchbook, so that's really quite useful. And I haven't decorated the cover of the sketchbook because I wanted to leave that open to all the potential of the person who ultimately owns it. So yes, I do use a great deal of restraint when I am making these books because I want to decorate them, but I also want very much for someone to see themselves in the book and make it their own. And that's how it becomes a journal, a treasured handmade item that they have essentially completed. I've taken it halfway. I've planted the seeds. That's the idea. I plant the seeds, and then I hope that the books find themselves with the right people. And that's all for this new book. So yeah, time to film book number 3, and I'll close this one down. So see you later.